Welcome back to another video, guys. What a great weekend for golf. Two amazing comeback stories. Colin Morikawa won the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Pretty cool fashion, actually. He had to birdie the last. Sepp Straka went 4 under on his last 3 holes to tie the lead, and Minwoo Lee was awaiting. He played a great round, and Colin Morikawa just put on an absolute clinic, and he sneakily has not won in over 800 days. In over 2 years, Colin Morikawa has not won a PGA Tour tournament. He's a 2-time major winner. That is how hard it is to win on the PGA Tour. That's how much it means to him. You saw how much it meant to him down the stretch. By the way, on the 18th hole, Jacob Bridgman, he hit his second shot onto Pebble Beach, onto the actual beach, and Colin Morikawa had to wait 20 minutes to hit a shot. And then he stuck it like greenside, 2-putted, made birdie, 1 by 1. Anthony Kim won on Live, and I don't watch Live, but I'm gonna be doing a whole separate video on that, so stay tuned for that, because that is honestly, I get goosebumps talking about it right now, because he has the best comeback story, dare I say, ever. Like, it's emotional. You saw the emotion coming out of him, the fist bumps. Oh my gosh, he said he pulled a muscle. It gets me going. It's getting me the itch living in Chicago to go out and golf right now, because you see the work that these guys put in, and for it to come to fruition for Anthony Kim he started 5 back, for him to start 5 back of John Rahm and Bryson, and then come back and win. Insane, insane, insane. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on a podcast, it's going to be interchangeable. If you're listening on a podcast, you'll still be able to get some good information out of this video, and I'm going to try and have it cater to both. But if you are watching on YouTube, I'm not somebody that really likes to say, make sure to like and subscribe. That's not my forte. Granted, this is my business, so if you do end up liking the video, like enjoying it, I would appreciate you liking and subscribing. I digress on that. Make sure that you do follow my Instagram. We're approaching 25K, as well as my TikTok, Mark Spitzer Golf. All right, let's get into the video. We're going to analyze Colin Morikawa's swing, specifically his irons, his approach to green. He is top 10 on the PGA Tour. Everybody knows that this man just absolutely compresses the heck out of the ball. He hits butter fades, and we're actually going to take a look into how you can implement some parts of Colin Morikawa's game into your own game. Let's get into it. Guys, this video is brought to you by V1 Sports. This is the analytical tool that I use and coach on. It's really solid. And these videos were taken from Colin Morikawa's Instagram. So shout out Colin, giving all the credit to you. Let's start with the downline view. Okay, and let's take a look at some things here, because it's quite cool. His setup is very similar, and we're going to see some unorthodox things in Colin's swing as well, that are kind of like counterintuitive almost, but he's in a very athletic posture, right? His knees are bent, his shoulder line is pretty much right over his toes. That is also perfect. One thing, and if I could give somebody just one grip tip to implement into their own game, it would be, can I see the glove fingers? I cover this in every video. Justin Rose, Chris Goddard, all the pros, you can see the glove fingers. All right. That's really about it on his setup. And then his takeaway. Let's just take a look at his swing right here. Pure. Pure. Let's look at the takeaway right here. Bang, 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 bang. Club covers the ball. That is something consistent that we look for in the takeaway. I'm trying to implement this into my own game right now, because so many amateurs are going to have this club in no man's land. Even by this time, they're going to have it in no man's land behind their body. We need to keep that club in front of your body, and Colin Morikawa does it really well. He honestly, I would compare his swing, honestly, to kind of someone like Patrick Cantlay. If you look at the driver, let's actually look at their drivers quick. Look at this. Look how far outside. Granted, I think Colin has a little bit more width. Yeah, look at that. That's a very similar position, and that is where they kind of differ a lot from other tour professionals. And a lot of the tour professionals kind of live somewhere along the hands right here, but they are way outside the hands. Real quick, it is my job to put my offers in front of you. In the link in the description, you'll find a link for a free swing analysis. If you are enjoying this breakdown, you want to apply it to your game. My offer right now, which won't last for a long time at the time of recording this video, I'm offering unlimited online lessons for less than the price of one in-person lesson. It is a no-brainer, structured feedback of your game. Nonetheless, free swing analysis, link in the description. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so we're back with Colin. We know his club covers the ball in the takeaway. Great drill for you to do. Put a ball behind your club face. So you're going to have two balls, one in front of the club, one in back of the club. And then you're going to shove that ball straight back. You don't want it going inside. You want that ball going straight back and nice and slow. Colin Morikawa's takeaway is very slow. He talks about his swing thought is just tempo and keeping his balance. And he does that very well as well. Covers the ball. Then it covers the hands, right outside the hands. That's really good. We saw his driver is exaggerated a little bit more. His driver's way in front of the hands. But let's look at the relationship between the club face and his spine. Very just slightly open, everything that goes into hitting his fades. Keep working up. I love this set position. Shaft is running inside the ball. He's not laid off. A lot of people are laid off. His shaft is setting vertical, and his downswing is also going to be vertical. He's not gonna shallow it too hard. Yeah, this is the one. This is the fade position. This is it. Look at where the shaft is running through. It's running right in between his arms. So it did shallow out a little bit in the fact that the shaft is pointed right at the ball. But let's look at a drawer of the golf ball, and let's compare this. This is going to be good. Let's get Rory in here. Let's get Rory hitting a draw. Shout out V1. This is really very cool. Very cool. Let's look at this position. So Colin's shaft is in between his arms. Let's look at Rory's. Look at that. Look at that. Rory's shaft is running down his trail forearm. And then we see Rory's ball start to the right. He's hitting a draw. Colin is steep. He's steeper, I guess, for lack of a better word. And then he exits a lot lower than Rory, low and left. So this is the unorthodox position right here. He hits fades, and his wrist is flexed. His wrist is bowed. Typically, that is in correlation with a shut club face. And let's actually bring in, let's actually bring in the hack motion. Let's check this out. If you want to get to this bowed position, because so many people have their wrist in extension at the top, which is that's a byproduct of an open club face. If you get your wrist bowed, a lot of the times it's going to shut the club face. Let's check this out really quick. So let's load in the app. We're going off kilter here. So we calibrate it, right? You can see on the screen recording. We're going to turn it on. Get a little vibrate. No, we're not going to do putting right now. All right, let's get this thing calibrated. Let's check it out. Make sure your wrist is in a flat position. Look how cool this is. All right, look at this. Oh my God, it's like I'm a controlled robot. So this is how cool this is. Cupped wrist, open face. Okay. If I were to shake somebody's hand to the left without moving my arm, my wrist goes into extension. All right. But if I go the other way, I go into flexion. You want your wrist to be either flat or flexed. not so cupped, not so cupped. So literally, when you take your practice swings, you take 5 swings, and then it tells you if you're extended, if you're flexed. Look at this, how cool that is. And then I'll give you a practice plan. So now I'm in flexion. Now I have a bowed wrist, and that's what Colin Morikawa does. So in my opinion, the mix of him having his wrist bowed and his fade bias, the wrist bowed is kind of a way to just add some juice to a shot and really just gain some speed. And we're going to see that in his face on view as well, because he tends to line up a little bit to the left. I think here he's just dead square, but between having his toe up in the air right here and then kind of steepening it out right here and clearing his hips fast, the rest of his swing screams fade. It screams fade. Let's look at this P6 position. Yeah, that's also fade. His club head right here is covering his hands, where typically you'd see Rory hitting his draw or people just hitting a straight shot. They'd have that club head behind their hands. That is so good. I think it's the balanced finish. The club covering the neck. If you're at home and you want to have an aesthetic finish, and I think there's a correlation also that should be noted between your swing looking good and actually being good. Take swings and make sure the shaft hits the back of your neck in the finish. That is a photo finish. At least you'll look good. Not all your shots might be good. I think they'll be better, but you'll at least look good. All right, so now we're in the face-on view of Colin Morikawa, and this is where it gets spicy. This is where it gets good. His lead hand is weak in the fact that we look at someone like Ludwig Oberg or anybody else on tour, we're going to see some logo on the glove right there, and we really don't. And his left thumb is pretty much on the top of the grip, which is pretty atypical. His right hand, however, is strong. And it's strong in the fact that we look at the crevice of between the thumb and the pointer finger, that's pointed towards his right shoulder. The crevice right here is pointed towards his left armpit. A neutral grip with both hands would have them pointed both towards the right armpit. But Colin's not like that. He's not like that. And I love his grip. His left hand reminds me of Bryson DeChambeau. His right hand is, I think, also perfect. Something that you can take and copy and paste into your own game as far as pressure points and the grip goes from Colin Morikawa is the fatty part of your right hand pressing down on your left thumb. That is a very important pressure point. All right, let's take a look now. Very good width right here. Let's start with the correlation between the takeaway and the downswing, and let's see how compressed he actually gets. So let's look at his hands right here. All right, note that. That's where his hands were, his club was parallel to the ground. And now he is pulling that handle forward, and his hands are getting closer to his body. So he's wide, and then he's narrow. So that's the recipe that we need to see. That's the recipe that we need to see. He's pulling that chain down, as Sergio Garcia would say. But if all you feel in the golf swing is leading with your hands, the club face is going to be left behind. It's going to be wide open. So let's note this correlation between Colin Morikawa and what he does to square up the club face. So his lead wrist is still flexed. It's still flexed. Shout out hack motion. And then we're going to see that TaylorMade logo right now as his face is open. His face is pointed towards the cameraman. So his face is open, as it should be as it's approaching. And then right after impact, or right at impact, we see that disappear. So this is the important compression cocktail. He leads with the hands, and then he turns his logo of the glove to the target in unison. So there's a lot happening in the downswing, and Colin Morikawa does it perfectly. He leads with the hands and turns his hands over in order to square the club face. It's as simple as that. He's pretty unorthodox he lifts up his right foot prematurely, but that could also be a way to achieve more of an out to in path as he kind of thrusts his right hip a little bit more towards the golf ball. It kind of forces his hands more out. But look at that. Look at his head as well. I love this move. I love this move. Colin's just a good guy. He's a good guy. You see how bad he wants it. Look at his head. Down and then back. Ooh, I like that. Especially for the driver. Especially for the driver. Notice how late it is until his head actually moves forward. That's a clip. He's staying behind the ball. He's rotating, staying behind the ball. And then ultimately comes up. And look at this balanced finish. His right hip covers his left. He is completely posted up on his left leg. There's no sliding. There's no sliding whatsoever. He uses that as a post to post up on and rotate. And then he gets his club to the back of the neck. Photo finish. Colin Morikawa, your goat. Your goat. All of his weight is on his front foot. Between the bowed wrist, his rotation, all the weight getting to his front foot. That's how he pounds the ball. And he's around, I think, he's not too high in ball speed compared to like Rory. I think he's like 175 to 180, which is still extremely high. Don't get me wrong. But nonetheless, that is Colin Morikawa's iron swing. His putter did get hot this week, but we're not going to cover that. I think, and his driver swing is also really good, but his irons is what he's known for, so I thought I would make the video on that. Hopefully just help you out. But nonetheless, I think Colin Morikawa is in for a great season. The PGA Tour is competitive as ever, even with the LIV guys leaving. Like the leaderboard for the Pro-Am this weekend was just stacked. It was stacked. The only guy that isn't up there all the time was Bridgman, which I'm very happy for him as well. But Straka, I'll make a video on him for his putting. Minwoo Lee, I actually already have a video. Minwoo Lee, I made my first YouTube video on. So check that out. Check the rest of my videos out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, only if you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And we'll see you next week. Actually, this week for Anthony Kim. Have a good day.